I'll be right with you. Hey, Mark Allen with Four Color Commentary here. Thanks for watching. And no, I know I haven't made a video in a while, but I've been kind of under the weather part of the time. Allergies are really bad this time of year where we live. Been just really busy lately, just really slammed. But a couple of things came across my attention that I wanted to mention and talk about very quickly. The first one, well, where'd it go? The first one is right here, Immortal Hulk, number 14. This is, of course, it's no secret to anyone out there who's watching this that Immortal Hulk is a great, great series. I was lucky enough to get on. Issue 2 was out. A friend of mine said, hey, this Immortal Hulk, it's really good. The first issue was great. Second issue was great. So I went to my local comic shop, picked up number 2 and they had a copy of number 1, got it. So I was lucky to get in on the ground floor. It's unusual for me because I'm not generally a new comics guy. I'm an old comics guy. Most of you know that. But just great storytelling. I even like the horror. I've never been real big on horror books, but I like the horror aspect of this book, and it's just so well done. Now, what I wanted to comment on, issue number 14, was I'm a big fan of Joe Bennett, regular artist on the Immortal Hulk. So don't get the idea in the least, or even for an instant, that I want to see anything happen to Joe. I don't want to see him move aside, nothing like that. But Kyle Hotz stood in on issue number 14 in the art, and it was just, the guy hit it right out of the park. Now, a little bit about Kyle Hotz. I think he came on in, I just love some of his expressions of characters and such as that Kyle does. Kyle's got a very cool kind of Kelly Jones-ish style, in my opinion, in my estimation. Not nearly as flamboyant or stylized as Kelly Jones, but some of his faces and such have that kind of that look of Kelly Jones, which of course a lot of people say Kelly Jones his work looks a lot like Bernie Wrightson's. I don't see that as much, but I do see Kyle Hotz being influenced here by Kelly Jones, at least in my opinion. But I discovered Kelly Jones in the 90s when he was part of Marvel's attempted revival of their horror books. And I don't even remember if it was Man-Thing, Werewolf by Night, or what that he worked on, but I know he worked on one of those. And so anyway, I just want to say that issue, the latest issue, number 14, unless number 15 has come out, I don't think it has, but number 14 of Immortal Hulk, man, Kyle Hotz just batting it out of the park. Just amazing work. And it's something I may have to go back and start looking at some of his work from previous years. I didn't realize that he had, wow, improved so much. And he was never bad, but my goodness, that's some great stuff there. Pardon me, allergies. Second thing, man, Zack Snyder needs to chill. All right? GameSpot runs a story in the last day or two where Zack Snyder says basically that DC fans should wake and I can't say it, up. Use some really condemnatory and disgusting language, and just I just don't, well, okay, it's that one word. I don't like that one word. But, about Batman killing, having this problem with fans not wanting Batman to kill. Well, here's my problem of that kind of attitude when I hear it and see it. Pardon me. Are you ready? It's this. We're talking about comic books. We're talking about comic books with archetypal characters. It's totally made up. It's totally fiction. It's not going to happen. There are no superheroes. So why not have a superhero that holds on to that belief that life shouldn't be taken, at least not by him. That he's said, I don't want to take a human life. What's wrong with that? And for Zack Snyder to say, "Oh, grow up," Batman. Of course, It's okay if Batman kills, and da da da. And implies that comics fans who don't want their heroes to kill, they're immature, or they're not adult. I mean, this goes along. I could go on and on. This whole idea of, well, we need adult comics. I remember it doesn't get said as much anymore, but I remember some kind of obscure comic book professionals. You might know the names, you might not. Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko. There are many others that were heralded and praised and celebrated for doing comic books that appealed to children as well as adults. Comic books that were okay to give to your kids, but man, they were deep, and there were some other meanings in there that they were very good about appealing to adults as well, and addressing important issues in society. And so, why can't we have that today? Why can't we have comic books that are okay to give to kids, but also happen to, wow, there's a good story there and a good message, and it doesn't seem like juvenile tripe. Should I have said that? Okay, everything juvenile isn't tripe, but it doesn't seem like children's fare. And so I just, I don't understand this desire of fans and creators. Oh, we have to have adult comics. We have to have grown-up comics. Is that because we don't have writers who are talented enough anymore to appeal to the entire spectrum? Because we used to. Now, let me just say this one last thing. Again, going back to Immortal Hulk, number 14. They ran what do I call this? A salute to Stan Lee's Stan's soapbox of the 60s. They've done this in the last couple of issues of Immortal Hulk, and I assume the other Marvel books as well. But you have this Stan's soapbox from September of 1967, and it's great because it kind of hooks into or dovetails into one of the things I just said about comics being first about entertainment. It's okay to want to entertain first, and if it works into the story, and if it's not forced, and if it doesn't sound like preaching, to include an important message in there as well. Now, you know as well as I know that it seems that whether it's being done or not, because I don't read enough new Marvel comics to know, but there is the perception out there by a large section of readership that Marvel is doing a lot of preaching and not nearly as much entertaining as they used to do. Well, Stan, September 1967, he says this: "Many keepers of the faith have demanded that we take a more definite stand on current problems such as Vietnam, civil rights, and the increasing crime, to name a few. We've a hunch that most Marvel madmen pretty well know where they stand on such matters, and we've long believed that our first duty is to entertain rather than editorialize. Of course, you've probably noticed that it's not too easy to keep our own convictions out of the soul-stirring sagas we toss at you, but in our own bumbling fashion, we do try. Anyway, since it's you who are the true editors of Marveldom, it's time for another impassioned poll. Should we editorialize more or less, or keep things in their present fouled-up form? We'll announce the verdict as soon as one of us learns to count, so we can tabulate the votes. But till then, in case you haven't noticed, we've got a little suggestion for you. Namely, think Marvel. That's it, believer. Nobody wrote like Stan. Nobody editorialized like Stan. But he makes a great point in there, and I love it. And the first one is just right out. He says, let me just read this. We've a hunch that most Marvel madmen pretty well know where we stand on such matters. And we've long believed that our first duty is to entertain. Go back to that, Marvel. Entertain. There's my phone. Happens every time. That's all I have. And thanks for watching. Tell me what you think down below. Should comics companies entertain first and worry about editorializing or preaching only if, they fall backwards into it? Or should editorializing and preaching be the first duty of a comic book company? You already know what I think. I want to know what you think. Hey, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't. And hit that like button down below. I'd appreciate it. And see you next video.